bass player had an upright bass. Yeah. I know. I came from Kendall, and I'm like, oh God. I know. The traffic is just nuts. It's nuts. I know. It's really bad. Really, really bad. Oh no. And South Beach, forget it. I know. It's. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. How you doing? Good to see you. You play percussion? Drums? Really? Awesome.
Well, he wasn't like really new. I mean, but he would like make drum sets in his shoes. He's been loving like
I
drum
know.
sets.
I know how that is.
He loves it, right?
Awesome. And you are how old now? 8. My son's 8. Yeah. Oh,
Is
yeah.
he learning anything?
He is. I'm getting him into drums and piano.
Nice. I also man, they can have a drum set
Woo!
or
No
a
sesh.
jam set.
I love it. Awesome. Good to meet you, man. I burned my hand with a coffee. I burned my hand. And it's hurts. Okay, so start. Oh, the call. I know. Me too. She's ready.
We'll invite everyone to please take their seats. The smaller of the two books In your armrest, have our prayer book. Page 10, please. Hine ma tov. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Page 24, let's welcome in the Shabbat angels. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Borchem LeShalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai lai lai, Barchuni LeShalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem LeShalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai nai nai, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Sharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchi Hamlachim. A little faster. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ya la lai, ya la la lai lai, ya la 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 lai lai. Ay nai 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 nai, ya na na nai nai, ya na na nai nai. Ay nai nai nai, ay na na nai nai, ya na 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 na. Na 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 na, na nai 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 nai, ya nai nai. Ay nai 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 nai.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
And why are we wearing white and blue on this Erev Shabbat? You had your hand up. I love that. Big, loud voice. Because we're supporting Israel. Awesome answer. Because it's going to be Israel's Independence Day. You guys are so smart. So we are here with special music, with beautiful prayers, with a wonderful video, with a celebration and a mazel tov for Jacob's bar mitzvah on this Shabbat. We also want to remind everybody of those who are saying Kaddish this evening and have a yortzeit. There is a name that you highlight on the board right outside the sanctuary. Highlight that name for it to be read. You highlight, it's a new system, and then we know to read your loved one's name. So on this wonderful Shabbat, as we are thinking of Israel, we're sending our prayers. What a way to support our brothers and sisters in Israel with song, with prayer, with the right clothing, with the right flags, and all together. Great way to bring Shabbat. We're going to welcome Shabbat now as we invite Jacob Farbish, our bar mitzvah young person, and his parents, Justin and Jamie, his siblings, Mason and Asher, Asher, you're going to come up too. We turn to page 2. Come on up, everybody, for the Shabbat candle blessing. And then we'll turn to page 5 for the Kiddush. So let's see. Jamie, you're right here. Okay. Push down hard and then squeeze out.
We take in a deep breath as we welcome in Shabbat with peace for the next 24 hours. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ava uvratzon hinkilanu zikron lama aseh v'reshit ki hi yom tehila Lamikra Kodesh Zeher Litiat Mitzrayim Kivanu Vaharta Veotanu Kidashta Mikol Ha'amim Veshabbat Kodecha Be'ava Uvratzon Hinchatanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. You're going to do it half the too, right? Yeah. Okay, so you're going to stay up here.
Thank you, Jacob, and another mazel tov to you and your family. We are turning to page 20 and page 21 as we join in singing L'chadodi.
Lecha lecha dodi, likra likra kana, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabel la la la. Lecha lecha dodi, likra likra kana, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabel la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likra likra kana, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabel la la la. Lecha lecha dodi, likra likra kana, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabel la. שמור וזכור בריבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת וניתי לה 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 לך דודי, לקרא לקרא קלה, בני בני שבת נגבה לה לה לה, לך לך דודי, לקרא לקרא קלה, בני בני שבת נגבה לה. Toreri, toreri, kiva ore kumi ori, ori ori, shadaberi, kevot Adonai alai, nigla la 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 lecha dodi, nigra nigra kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabel la la la, lecha lecha dodi, nigra nigra kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabel la. Please rise.
Face the door to greet the Sabbath bride.
אוהי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצורה, תוך אמונה וסגולה, בואי חלה, לה 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 לך דודי, נקרא נקרא קלה, בני בני שבת נקבל לה לה לה, תי נקרא נקרא קלה, בני בני שבת נקבל לה 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 לך דודי, נקרא קלה, בני בני שבת נקבל לה לה לה, לך דודי, נקרא נקרא קלה, בני בני שבת נקבל לה.
turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, ai dai 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 dai, ai dai dai, ai dai dai dai, ai dai 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 dai, ai dai 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 dai, ai dai 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 dai, ai dai 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 dai, ai dai 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 dai. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. You may all be seated unless you're one of our graduating high school seniors. It's your turn to join us on the bima. You think we're going to bless you from over there? No way. Join us up here. Some of them have just shared privately in the chapel, holding a Sefer Torah, what it means for them, what they're taking with them, leaving Beth Am. They spoke about community and friends and learning and Torah, and here we are ready to give them a special blessing and a gift. Tamara Donnenfeld, our Yours director, we have special gifts with also instructions.
Congratulations.
So we're so excited to have you here tonight. My husband is at prom right now, so I know that this is not the best time for seniors to come to synagogue, but it is the best time for us to be surrounded by you. We are so incredibly proud of each one of you, not only for the wonderful secular achievements that you have achieved by graduating, but more importantly because each one of you is an example of what we want the world to see as who Jews really are. Some of you I have known since you're 2, and some of you have come to us more recently. But all of you have made our congregation and the whole high school experience better for us. You are bright lights, the most beautiful lights, and we are so honored to get to celebrate you and give you a blessing tonight.
So this class, you could argue one of the most important classes in Beth Am history. When we moved here, this class was in 4th grade. And we've watched you graduate from the day school, graduate from wherever you were going to school. We've watched you survive and deal with COVID. We've watched you have your bar and bat mitzvahs. We've watched you at your confirmation. And now all of you are actually taller than all of us. And it's pretty incredible. And it's pretty incredible to see, and just mind-boggling to see that we're sending this class off to college. Fortunately, it's an easy time to go to college. There's no challenges on college campuses, so everything should be very smooth. But we hope that the lessons that you've learned here, the blessings you've achieved, and the connections that you have with each other will serve you well. We're so proud of each and every one of you. We can't wait to see what you're going to do. We can't wait till you graduate and move back to Pinecrest and re-enter the Beth Am world. But for now, it's time for you to go out, to learn, to have an incredible time, and to make an even greater difference in our world. So as you come with love and reverence for Torah and the Jewish people, as you ascend this bima once again, it's our honor to bless you with these ancient words from our tradition. May God bless you and always watch over you.
shine upon you and be kind to you.
כן יהי רצון, יישא אדוני פניו אליך, וישם לך שלום.
May God's presence always be with you, giving you lives of peace.
כן יהי רצון, כן יהי רצון.
Amen. And you have gifts, and you're not leaving until Tamara gives you your gift, including and cake after, and along with your gift is a letter to remind you that we are here all for you whenever you need us and whenever you just want to chat and say hi.
We are gonna have our graduating seniors help us to sing the Shema before our bar mitzvah, who's coming up. Come on up, bar mitzvah.
You remember, don't you?
Is going to lead us in the Vehafta, and we have a full circle here with Jacob and with our B'nai Mitzvah. Ready?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated. Just move closer. Go.
Ve'afta Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi mitzvavcha hayam ala ve'veha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשיתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושופך, ובקומך, וקשרתם לאור על ידיך, והיו לטפחות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוציא אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Thank you, Jacob. You know, when we turn to English renderings in our Siddur, sometimes they really hit the moment, and tonight's reading before Michamalcha does just that. Please turn to page 39 and join with me at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה תהילות עושי פלם מלכות לך ובניך חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זה אלי ענו ויאמרו זה אלי ענו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Blessed are you, God, who redeems all of Israel. During COVID, we learned that the important value of being able to pray together and what that means to be in community because we missed it so much. But one of the things that I got to experiment with during COVID was the use of video in prayer and how we can transform familiar prayers using images. And there was real power in that. And so tonight we're going to be seeing the world premiere of our Hashkivenu one-day video on our screens tonight, and this will be released on Sunday in honor of Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut for Israel. And part of the different modalities in which we can pray using our voices, we can pray with looking at different images, we can pray closing our eyes, we can pray with movement, with breath, with meditation. There's so many different forms of prayer. And so tonight, that form for us of prayer in this moment is through a video, through these beautiful children who gave of their time during our winter break to take this campus, which was empty because school wasn't in session, and to make it this laboratory of experimentation and prayer. And one of the most beautiful parts of this is that we get to showcase our incredible campus that Rabbi Barris and our clergy and our leadership dreamed of for so many years, and to highlight that we in Pinecrest, even with everything going on in the world, we are thriving and our children are continuing on in the traditions. So we turn our attention to the screens for Hashkivenu. Let's all sing together. Hey. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day. One day, one day. So one day, one day, one day. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that they don't want to fight no more. There'll be no reward, and our children one day, 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 one day. Let's hear you all. One day, one day, one day. If you were in the video, can you please stand for a second?
And let's hear it for our world premiere. Thank you, Cantor Kuyo. Thank you, choir members. And what a beautiful place to sing and pray one day. We are continuing now with the tefillah, our main section of prayers. We pray on this special Shabbat, page 46. We invite all who are comfortable to do so to please rise.
God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you, Adonai, Adonai. Sevadai tivta, ufiagi, teilatecha, Adonai. Sevadai tivta, ufiagi, teilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך מביט ומחיי, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We continue silently through page 62 on English or Hebrew, or with your own words and your own thoughts. You may be seated when you are finished.
שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
For Jews who are in tune with the Jewish calendar, who pay attention closely from one major event to another, you know that as the Pesach season ends, we move into what's considered one of the most emotional times of the Jewish year, Yom HaShoah, Yom HaZikaron, and Yom HaAtzmaut. The truth is, it's very easy to say from year to year, you know, Yom HaShoah, it's the same thing every year. The story's the same. The pain is the same. The customs are the same. Yom HaZikaron's a little bit more different because what you do, unfortunately, is you remember all of the soldiers who passed away in that particular year. And there hasn't been a year yet where we haven't lost some of them. And then Yom HaAtzmaut is a time to say, well, isn't it great that we have a Jewish state? And we say that every year. And perhaps up until this year, we started to take it for granted. You know, there's a saying that Yom HaShoah was the price that the Jewish people paid for not having a state of Israel. And Yom HaZikaron is the price we pay for having one. Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut, as they come up in just a couple of days, will obviously be particularly emotional. Yom HaShoah, which we just had, you would think, what emotion could you really add to Yom HaShoah? It's already the greatest disaster and most painful event maybe the world has ever known. Well, this year, because of the explosion of anti-Semitism in the wake of the October 7th massacre, for the first time in my life, I've now heard not an insignificant amount of Jews say, now I understand how it could have happened. A couple of years ago, when the ADL director, Jonathan Greenblatt, published his book, It Could Happen Here, which is a very good book and worthwhile, and I've gotten a lot out of it, but I thought the title was unnecessarily provocative. It's an important book, but really, another Holocaust here in the United States? That was last year. This year, I think, comparisons of the rise of anti-Semitism here still belittle the terror and trauma that our brothers and sisters who experienced the real Holocaust suffered. This is nothing like that. There is nothing like that. However, Greenblatt is right that the alarming trends of hatred towards our people must be monitored and called out at every turn. So when Yom HaShoah came around this year, perhaps for the first time, it wasn't so hard to think about how Yom HaShoah was different than previous years. Last year at this time, like probably a fair number of you, we were on the March of the Living, first in Poland and then on our way to Israel to celebrate Israel's 75th birthday. I've been on the March of the Living 3 times. When you go on the march, the itinerary is not always the same. Some parts are the same, some rubrics never change. But in the additional days, sometimes you go to one concentration camp, sometimes you go to a different one. But you often visit a place called Majdanek, one of the cruelest camps, situated in the very middle of an ancient city called Lublin, an ancient Jewish city where some of the greatest Torah scholars ever used to live and study. What always strikes me is that when you go there, when you drive through Lublin and you snake your way eventually to the camp that was Majdanek, and you then descend into the camp, what you can see all around you is not the woods in the middle of nowhere, far removed from normal civilization. What always strikes me is that all around the camp is the village. It's where people lived. It's where the villagers lived, where they ate, where they worked, where they went about their business as the organized mechanism of the Holocaust went on right next door. They saw what was happening, but they went on with their daily lives. In this case, at least, at Majdanek, it wasn't hidden in the woods. It was right there for everyone to see. This year, Yom HaShoah last week, and making our way to Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut, this year what scares me is the standing by and doing nothing. The wild rise of anti-Semitism, the canards, the lies, the propaganda that use this Hamas war as an excuse to attack Jews, Judaism, our faith, and our traditions, but really are not rooted at all in anything other than hatred for Jewish people and have been embraced by a significant minority of the population. Now, who are these people? They're mostly younger, left-wing, fringe, in many cases bizarre, poorly informed, often poorly groomed, looking for something to latch onto. And it's alarming. And in reality, most Americans, if you ask them, are turned off by them. They see them as troublemakers. In many cases, they're seen as anti-American, woke mobs of entitled youth and anti-Semites. The problem is, of the non-Jews who don't agree with them, of the non-Jews who don't have a high opinion of them, for the most part, they haven't done anything about it. They haven't stood with us. At least not in substantive ways that you might notice. Some have, but not many. While they may not agree with the mob encampments, they really haven't reached out to us. They don't see our pain. And it feels like they don't seem to care. I'm speaking in general terms. This is anecdotal, not scientific. But in my observation, many of us feel abandoned by others, especially by the others that we've stood next to on many occasions. But historically, not too many people have the same tradition that we do, that our faith dictates, of looking at a year as it is by itself and trying to figure out what's unique, what's special, what's different about this year. You know, Yom HaShoah, every year, if you go on the March of the Living, it has a different theme every year. I mean, the Holocaust has been the exact same thing since it ended in 1945, but every year since, we've taken a different aspect to look at. The Jewish tradition is to look very, very carefully at a year before you move on to the next one. If you don't do that year after year, then after a certain amount of time goes past, the old mistakes that were once made don't seem so bad and so troublesome. Looking back at our Torah portion this week, we read the Torah portion of Kedoshim that's often read when it's not a leap year with last week's Torah portion called Achorimot. Achorimot, Kedoshim. In the Torah portion, we learn a lot. In the Torah portion, we learn a lot about the methods of the priests, the Kohanim, and how it was their mission to set an example of holiness for the people. So the biggest moment of the year was Yom Kippur. You know, when the rabbi gives the sermon. That's the highlight of your year. Get some good rest. No, the highlight of the year was when the high priest went into the Holy of Holies, the only time during the year that he was allowed in there, and he offered a sacrifice on behalf of all of the people, and if he wasn't successful, then no one was forgiven for the year. And if he had even one sin that he hadn't repented for before he went in, then when he went in, he died. And they had to get like a big stick and pull him out, because no one else was allowed in there. Then they sent in the next guy, and they said, good luck. This was the biggest moment of the year. And what he would do is he would add on 4 different types of linens, 4 special clothes that he could only wear at that moment. And when it was over, those special clothes, the Torah tells us, ve'nichem sham. He left them there, which Rashi tells us required that he had to take those linens and go out and bury them and never use them again. And it wasn't that easy to find linen when you were walking around in the wilderness, or even once they built the temple and got to the land of Israel. But the next year, the high priest had to develop again 4 new sets of linen and wear them when he went in. So the rabbis asked, why? What's the difference? Why can't he just wear the same clothes that he wore last year? And the Talmud answers. Every year, he would have to go back to where he buried the previous year's garments. Because if he put on the same garments, and he was successful, and he came out alive, and everyone was forgiven, then he might say, you know, I wore these last year and they worked great, so I'm going to wear them again, and we'll be fine. By doing that, he'd be entering on last year's merit, and not this year's merit. The Torah instructs him, don't do that. Consider very carefully the year that you just had. Enter only on your merit for this year. And so he buried them and looked for a new outlook. You know, this last year has been anything but normal. And it gave us a whole new appreciation of Yom HaShoah. And it will, after Shabbat, give us a whole new understanding of Yom HaZikaron. There'll be new names. There'll be many new names. There'll be new victims, many new victims from the war on terror and the war to protect the state of Israel. We understand now, as we feel the anti-Semitism in this country and say, now I understand how it might have happened in Germany and so forth. I understand Yom HaShoah a little differently. Now I see what happened on October 7th. I understand Yom HaZikaron a little bit differently. But then will come Yom HaAtzmaut. Not with the same fanfare that we welcomed Israel's 75th birthday last year. Not with the same fanfare that we took nearly 1,000 people from Miami on our mega mission and celebrated Israel's 75th birthday with the greatest majesty that we could imagine. No, Israel's 76th birthday next week may be one of its most painful. Or perhaps not. Perhaps not. Perhaps it depends on our perspective, like the high priest when he buried his linens and said, what exactly happened this year and what is my perspective? You know, there was a moment during the Yom Kippur War when Golda Meir was on the phone with Henry Kissinger. And the Israelis were in pursuit. They had fought back the Egyptian army, and they were chasing them back to Cairo. And there was a moment. There was a moment when the Israeli army could have attacked and destroyed the entire Egyptian Third Army. And Golda was prepared to do it, and Henry Kissinger said to her, if you do that, it will bring a heavy-handed Russian response. And at that moment, just a couple weeks after Israel had been nearly destroyed, I'm bored too, you know. I know. I've been up here forever. There was a moment. Golda responded to Kissinger with a story. She said, you know, when I was a little girl, the Ukrainian soldiers, the Russian soldiers, they would come by our neighborhood when they were in the mood to have some fun, to beat Jews to their death in the street, which was enjoyable for them. And my father would hide me in the cellar. And he would tell me to keep quiet. And we would wait on pins and needles for them to pass, hoping that we would survive the pogrom. This is the story that Golda Meir told Henry Kissinger when she said, my father would hide me in the cellar. We would pray for them to leave. But Henry, I'm not that little girl hiding in the cellar anymore. Last week, perhaps more than ever, we felt more keenly the pain of Yom HaShoah, the price our people paid for not having a state. And soon we'll feel the pain of Yom HaZikaron, the price we pay for having one. But on Yom HaAtzmaut, what our new take this year may just be is that we're not going to wait for the villagers and the townspeople that surround Majdanek to come and rescue us and hear our cries anymore. We're not going to wait for the Russian rioters to pass on by while we hide in the cellars. We won't wait for our neighbors to march with us on college campuses. We hope they do. But instead of waiting, this year, Israel's 76th birthday, will let the world know that never again will we pay the price that we did for Yom HaShoah. We'll also let them know that Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut is a price we'll always be willing to pay, whether they like it or not. As we read in our Torah portion this week, Va'ani etnena lachem lareshet ota eretz zavat chalav udvash. Ani Hashem Elokechem asher avdalti etchem min ha'amim. For I will give you the land to possess, a land flowing with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, who has set you apart from the other peoples. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. Amen.
On your song sheet, you have the words of Shir La Shalom, a song written in 1970. And we honor the beautiful words shared by Rabbi Barris with one of our incredible Israeli congregants, Tamar, who's joining me tonight to offer this beautiful prayer of peace, this song of peace. Shir La Shalom.
La בבוקר להעיר אזעקה שבתפילות אותנו לא תחזיר. מי אשר קו הנרו ובאפה נטמן בחימה לא יאירו לא יחזירו לכאן. איש אותנו לא ישוב מבור תחתית אפל, כאן לא יועילו לו שמחה הניצחון ולא שירי הלל. לכן הקשירו שיר השלום, אל תלחשו תפילה, מוטב תשירו שיר השלום בצעקה גדולה. תנו לשמש לעלום, לבוקר להאיר, הזעקה שבתפילות אותנו לא תחזיר. אל תעשו עיניים בתקווה, לא דרך כוונות. שירו שיר לאהבה ולא למלחמות. אל תגידו יבוא, הביאו את היום, כי לא חלום הוא. ובכל הכיכרות הריעו לשלום. לכן רק שירו שיר השלום, אל תלחשו תפילה, מוטב תשירו שיר השלום בצעקה גדולה. שירו שיר השלום, אל תלחשו תפילה, מוטב תשירו שיר השלום בצעקה גדולה.
We thank Tamar so much for joining us tonight. And I just want to take a moment to thank her that for this Sunday night, for Yom HaZikaron, she has organized over 80 Israelis and countless other members of our community who will be coming here to pray and to commemorate Yom HaZikaron together. If you want more information, you can see Tamar after the service.
And then Monday, we're coming together as a whole South Dade community to celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut together. It's going to be housed at Beit Shira this year, starting at 5 o'clock. I hope you'll join us there as well.
Shabbat Shalom. It brings me great joy and pride to witness how many of our high school seniors have continued their Jewish journey despite the demands of homework and other extracurricular activities. Some attended Bafti on Monday to spend time with each other and take a breath from their busy and hectic schedules. Others took on leadership position, while some actively participated in our fellowship or served as a madrich, teacher assistant, on Sunday morning. Just as they have grown in their daily lives, they have also nourished their Jewish soul and strengthened their Jewish identities. I'm lucky to have the year's board recognize the value of continuing Jewish education beyond the Bnei Mitzvah. In recognition of this commitment, the year's board has decided to continue funding the Shem Tov Award, which will be awarded on an yearly basis to an exceptional high school senior or seniors who have continued their Jewish education through 12th grade and have brought immense pride to our community. This year was a tough year. First, because of world's events that shaded our learning with despair and sadness. Second, because I would have loved to recognize all the seniors who chose to continue the Jewish journey despite the many other opportunities and competed choices the world gives you. This year, we are awarding the Shem Tov Award and an honorable mensch recognition to two remarkable teens who have shown exceptional leadership and engagement in initiatives making the world a better place. Today, we gather to recognize an individual who has embarked on a remarkable journey with Temple Beth Am community. Since joining Temple Beth Am, she became actively engaged in various programs from Monday Night High, confirmation, the racial justice trip to Memphis, and then participated in the Social Justice Fellowship, the Guatemala trip, and the multi-generational Holocaust and educational trip to Poland. One of the qualities of this amazing young woman, is her humility and her availability to serve others. Proud of her grandma's resilience, she inherited her name and now proudly reflects her spirit through her eyes and laughter. Her acts of kindness have made her a tangible difference in the life of those she has touched. Member of the President Group of the Friendship Circle, National Honor Society Vice President of Service, Palmetto Senior High School Yearbook Editor, HEAP Peer Educator, launcher of a Miami project at Pouches for Patches, and Silver Knight General Scholarship nominee, among other acknowledgments. She has exemplified the values of compassion, empathy, and justice that lies in the heart of our community. Today, we are honoring Cameron Gassin for her commitment to bear witness and ensure a just society, for her service, and for her positive impact in our community. Cameron, please come up to receive your award. Together with the recognition, this comes with a check for 613. Quite a number, right? Okay, so it's a number of mitzvot that she exemplifies, and we are so proud of you.
The Honorary Mensch Award this year was a hard decision. As Tamara said, each of our seniors are incredibly fabulous individuals. At the same time, we are so proud of our winner. when we discussed what we hope our students will be like when they leave Beth Am and head to college and beyond, we said we wanted you not only to have a strong Jewish identity, know how to celebrate the Jewish holidays and why we do what, but we want our graduates to have a particular way of looking at the world. That you see the beauty in the world and you see its brokenness. And when you see the brokenness, you feel a responsibility to do something about it. Our winner has just that perspective. She looks to the world, sees the brokenness, and says, I can do something about that. Starting high school during COVID, she noticed that the school had no spirit and made it her mission to change that. She went to the leadership and was empowered to encourage attendance at sporting events, creating tailgates at the football games, and helped to win her class the Spirit Award. She got 380 rising seniors to earn their red by participating in a paint-throwing run, increasing participation by 500%. But that's not the only way she's increased joy and helped to make the world a better place. Inspired by her college visits where she witnessed Dance Marathon, she brought Dance Marathon to Palmetto Senior High, raising money for Niklaus's Children's Hospital and spreading even more joy on her campus. A graduate of our day school, she continued through the religious school, has been confirmed, and has been part of our social justice teen fellowship. She has learned every month about different social justice issues and participated in hands-on volunteering, including pouring cement into beams for the science lab at a school in Guatemala. She's learned how to advocate for change and has not only done this through our programs, but through J-Serve through the Federation, where she helped to organize a day of volunteering throughout the Jewish community on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And through a prestigious program called Florida Girls State, where she and 350 delegates lived on the FSU campus, held mock state, and as a state official wrote bills and debated those bills. Hers was one of only 12 that got signed into law. She serves on her school's student council as president of student relations. She's a Silver Knight nominee and is a member of her school's varsity lacrosse team. She made the all-district first team and all-county second team. But most importantly, she is a mensch, and she's been a mensch. I was having flashbacks of being at Shayna's house for Committee of 100 when Ruben and Emma were only, I think, in 5th grade, and they dressed up in children's clothing and played with my kids so that they wouldn't be bored while everybody else was having their ritzy, high-class time. So she is a mensch, she's kind, caring, a compassionate soul, and so today our Honorable Mensch Award goes to Emma Behar. Come here, babe. So you get a certificate. I know, if only we gave it to you earlier. And you get, our second place gift is actually $365, not only the days of the week, but the positive mitzvot. And I'd like to invite Jeffrey Rosenberg to make a presentation on behalf of our brotherhood as well.
So on my way up here, I passed the temple president, and I saw a wonderful story he had put together. I won't tell you the ending, though. I'll save it for later. I do have a surprise, though. I wanted to first congratulate all the seniors. I know you guys are going to make your parents proud. But we have this award from the Brotherhood, which we'd like to present. This is our High School Torah Scholar Award. And this is actually for a sophomore. So that's the surprise. Zach Cohen, can you please come up here? He studied the whole year with Rabbi Barris one-on-one. Zach? This is in recognition of your dedication and commitment to the study of Torah. Thank you. And I do have a present for you. You have a brand new stone chumash. And Rabbi Barris, I wanted to read this to you. For his diligent year-long study with Rabbi Barris' entire Torah, and the resource for your continuing education, with the warmest regards from the Brotherhood, Jeff Rosenberg, President, and this is priceless.
Mazel tov.
Good, mazel. Thank you. And congratulations to the Cohen family.
Thank you so much. So we're thinking now of those in our community who are in need of a prayer of healing. If you have someone that you're thinking of, please say their name out loud. We're going to say it out loud all together, just creating a cacophony of those people we're praying for.
In honor of Mother's Day weekend, we call out to the Divine Mother of the universe.
Sweet mother, I'm coming home.
Sweet mother, I'm coming home.
Now I know I'm not alone.
Now I know I'm not alone.
'Cause I've been far.
I've been far.
Now I'm close.
Now I'm close.
Sweet mother, I'm coming home. Tell me, mother, can you hear me sing?
Tell me, mother, can you hear me?
Let me hear you guys.
Sing?
Your love is everything.
Your love is everything.
Heart and soul.
Heart and soul.
Breath and skin.
Breath and skin.
Your love is everything.
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 Blessed are you, God, who brings healing to all of us. And with that, we're going to turn to page 253 to count the Omer. Today's quality that we're all working on is compassion and beauty and seeing the good in all. And we are on the 17th day of the Omer.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer hayom shiva asar yom shehem shnei shavuot ushlosha yamim la'omer.
Amen. I'm going to invite everyone who is able to please rise for our Aleinu on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו כחומונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We can be seated. Rabbi Barris spoke to us about these 2 days of mourning on the Jewish calendar. We have another day of mourning on the Jewish calendar, Tisha B'Av, where we think about all of the things that befell our people. And it's interesting, when you're in the mourning process, you have days, like for some of you today, you're remembering a yard site. For me, it's my mom's birthday, so I'm thinking of her. But you have these other little days that you're not expecting that make you think of the person that you're missing. So we as a community, we are here for you and will be standing with you, but first we invite you to stand as we say the names of those that we have listed for Kaddish, and please remain standing if you're saying Kaddish until we join you. We are thinking tonight and sending our condolences to the family of Carol Rudinsky. We are in the first 30 days of mourning for Michael Linder, Rosalind Rosita Spiegel, Barbara Powell, and Jacqueline Cott and Ruth Apfelbaum. We are in the first year of mourning for Michael Arnold, Joan Axler, Haima Kleppe, Patricia Gaga Barrett, Peter Bass, Constance Miller Bennett, Barbara Bronfman, June Elizabeth Brown, Bernard Eckstein, Herbert Fink, Lawrence Larry Stort Foreman, Tina Forster, David Frankel, Anne Friedlander, Glenn Goldberg, Jennifer Gross, Dr. Warren Janowitz, Alice Levy, Howard Kleinberg, Sandra Sandy Kramer, Ellen Ellie Levine, Reba Eskowitz Maggots, Asuka Mashav, Solomon Pinkert, Elisa Poyastro, Karen Michelle Salomon, Dr. David Saracen, Anna Sheldon, Nathan Friedman, Michael Schellist, Michelle Hope Sherry, David Sokol, Max Spiegelman, Tanya Stern, Ilka Stolyar, Berta Topel, Irene Trupkin, Dr. Florence Oren Wexberg, Joan Wolfe, Burton Young, Daniel Zalkberg, Yolanda Pozo, and Ben Engel. And at this time, we are commemorating the yard sites of Juvan Arboleda, Harry Braverman, Vera Braverman. It's the first yard site tonight for Judy Gilbert Gould. Norma Klein, Alan Letterman, Ben Lipoff, Milton D. Lunden, Robert Newman, my Pop William Prizer, Abe Savitz, Sylvia Shirley Savitz, Bertram A. Stone, and George Kopp. If you have a name to add to our Kaddish list, please raise your hand. Yes. Thank you. Did you? Okay. We rise as one community as we turn to page 294 in words of praise in memory of our loved ones. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, B'alma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon v'yomechon, Uv'chayei zocho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach leolam ulmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha b'richu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and comfort to all who are mourning and all who are bereaved, and we say, amen. We can be seated. It's my pleasure to invite our president, Rich Siegel.
Shabbat Shalom. I know we're running late tonight. I'll try to keep it under 10 minutes. That was a joke. So to start, I just wanted to say Mazel Tov to the Farbish family on Jacob's bar mitzvah. As the regulars here know, I'm kind of a stalker, and I do spend a couple minutes researching the bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah family. And I know your mom took your little brother out of the room, but what I found was just a gold mine in the 2 minutes of research I did today. So I apologize in advance if I embarrass you or if I appear to be as stalkerish as I am. But your mom is two amazing things about your mom, which you probably don't know. Number one, her social media is public, which is unusual. And number two, she has the oldest Instagram account I've ever seen. She's been an Instagram member. The first picture on her Instagram is you in a crib. So I'm stalking her Instagram today like a weirdo, and I come across, have you ever seen this? This is an Instagram post from your mom. You're laughing. From 2015. It says, "To my mom on Mother's Day. All About My Mom by Jacob Fabrish." So what's that? Farbish, sorry. I'm not reading that. That was from Heart. My mom, All About My Mom by Jacob. My mom's name is Mommy. She loves to eat, this is fill in the blanks. She loves to eat, do you remember what your mom loves to eat? Lettuce and chicken. So obviously this is like a big chicken wrap family. It makes my mom happy when, do you know when you make your mom happy? You probably don't remember. When I clean up my toys. And I love it when my mom and I go somewhere like Disney World. Happy Mother's Day, Jacob. Mother's Day 2015. So I thought that was pretty special. And just to show the kinder and gentler side of my stalkiness, your mom's most recent Instagram post was about your mitzvah project, which was planting trees in Israel. So I went ahead and actually planted a tree on your behalf in honor of your bar mitzvah. So, mazel tov. So given the hour, I'm going to skip all the announcements because it's my least favorite part of this. But I did want to give a special shout out to the seniors that are graduating. What an amazing accomplishment. And my message, so as Rabbi Barris alluded to, most people are saying that this isn't probably the best time in the history of the Jewish people to be going to college. But I'm a contrarian. So I actually believe that there's never been a better time for our Temple's young adults to be going off to college. Because Temple Beth Am's high school seniors are a bunch of things, but they're smart, they're strong, they're courageous, they're determined, and they're confident Jewish people who now more than ever are needed on our college campuses, serving as shining examples of our people, our strength, and the fundamental ideals in which we believe. It's not always going to be easy, and a quick story. A couple weeks ago, Jackie and I were driving home from services. We got a call from someone that will remain nameless because I told my daughter I wasn't going to mention her by name. She was clearly upset, and we asked what was wrong. We knew she was going out with, she graduated from Beth Am in 5th grade. She went to middle school. She was going out to dinner with one of her first friends she made in middle school. She'd been friends all through middle school and high school. Through college, they've been in touch. She was super upset. She sat down to have dinner with one of her oldest friends, and they kind of were like, "How was your week? How was your week?" And her friend tells her that she's tired because she had spent the week sleeping in a Palestinian encampment in New York City. At which time my daughter excused herself and came and called us, which shout out to us for being such great parents. So her mom was very empathetic and told her, "Don't be upset. These kids are being brainwashed." Made her feel better. She said, "Dad, what do you think?" I look at things from a slightly different perspective. I'm like, "What are you going to have for dinner?" Like this was before she ordered. I'm like, "I'll tell you what. If you're not comfortable being with her, go home, get whatever you want for dinner, and you can charge me for it." So we got home. We got a text from her. Everything was fine. About an hour later, I got a notification from Uber Eats for $46 in Chinese food. She said, "What should I do?" I said, "I don't know." I'm like, "Why don't you just call Rabbi Barris?" So she did, and I got a text message from her the next day. I spoke with Rabbi Barris. I'm like, "How do you feel?" She says, "He made me feel great." And then that was you get the ... while she's typing some more, and the second message comes, "Boy, that guy knows a lot about Israel." I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of his job." So what this demonstrates, and this wasn't like presidential level service. This is Rabbi Barris and our entire clergy and our entire community is available to all of our Temple Beth Am youth, near and far, in college, in graduated, whatever you need. If you want spiritual advice, please reach out to the clergy. If you want a stupid joke, I'll give you my cell phone number. But please don't forget us. We're certainly not going to forget about you. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and Shabbat Shalom.
It's finally time. Take out your flags. We've been waiting 2 hours for this moment, everyone. Let's celebrate Israel. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Or Avinu Chai, Or Avinu Chai. Or Avinu, Or Avinu, Or Avinu Chai. Or Avinu Chai, Or Avinu Chai. Or Avinu, Or Avinu, Or Avinu Chai. בשנה הבאה נשב על המרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו דורסת בין הבית לבין השדות. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא יימדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא יימדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. 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 אבי ההרים צלול כיין וריח אורנים. נישא ברוח הארבעים עם כל פעמונים. ובתרדמת תלהב האבן שבויה בחלומה. העיר אשר בדן יושבת ובליבה חומה. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור. הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור. הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.